It's game time.
Quiet, please. I am analyzing.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Is the next step the transplantation of the human brain?
Ballsy. Stupid, but ballsy.
Stand by for action.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Okay. Remember, we're not dealing with an intelligence on our own level.
Bring in the logic probe.
Ooh. End of line.
Welcome back to the Gamers Haven podcast. We are using the miracle of technology in Skype and Callburner to record this episode because of the apocalypse outside.
Not really an apocalypse, just because the rest of the drivers on the road can't figure out that when there's 3 inches of snow on the road, you shouldn't drive 60 miles an hour. I can't believe how many, turned around SUVs I passed on the way home from work tonight.
Yeah, really, with my experience going through snow, it's always, if you don't drive like an idiot, you're going to be fine. Just don't drive like an idiot.
Problem is no one else seems to have learned that lesson.
Yes.
But we're not here to bitch about snow tonight.
No. Even though do we have a count on how many inches of snow we've had since Christmas now?
Oh,
a lot. Yeah.
Over a foot. We had 8 inches by Christmas morning in some places. Some places had actually a foot.
Yeah.
We had 3 inches this last Saturday, and then we've gotten 3 inches so far, and it's still snowing.
Mm-hmm. So lots of snow here in the Great Midwest, or the Great Plains, as they say.
What's entirely? Go ahead, Jeremy.
And I'll see if I can get out my driveway tomorrow.
Yes. That's a interesting adventure going through your driveway.
Not as interesting as mine was when you're trying to back out with a 2-foot wall of snow on both sides of the driveway.
That is true. But do you have someone who comes in and plows your driveway?
Someone did come and plow our driveway for us, yes. They were very nice.
I
did it once. They did it once, and that was good.
Yeah, I just have the city who plows it all on my driveway.
Yes.
After you've shoveled it out, yeah.
Your driveway is kind of badly located for that.
Well...
And that's where Robin got stuck.
Yeah. They only need to leave a car length, but they're being tools, so whatever.
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway... we're talking today, I think, albeit reservedly, about LARPing, live-action role-playing, and experiences we've had, and sort of that sort of thing. So we will be back right after this. Noble Knight Games has been serving the needs of thousands of gamers worldwide since 1997. With a huge selection of over 30,000 unique products, including discounts on most in-print games of up to 50% off or more. Noble Knight Games is the place for out-of-print RPGs, board games, war games, collectible card games, miniatures, and all things game-related. They ship worldwide and will purchase or trade your titles you no longer need, new, or used. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Just visit www.nobleknight.com or visit our website for direct access to thousands of new, out-of-print, and in some cases, one-of-a-kind items. You may have heard Keep on the Shadowfell before, but you've never heard it like this. From the gaming group that brought you The Wizards College, join them as they delve into 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons, some of them for the first time. The town of Brookhollow stands watch over a ruined keep that was once a bastion of good in the realm. The keep overlooks the Shadow Rift, a dark scar in the world that was once a gateway to the Shadowfell, but has been dormant for many years. Now an evil cleric of Orcus, demon lord of the undead, seeks to reopen the gate. and the only thing standing in his way is a small yet determined band of heroes. Dungeons & Dragons, 4th edition. Keep on the Shadowfell. Redux. And we're back. And as we said in the intro, today we are talking about the wonderful world of LARPing. I think all of us have done some LARPing in some way, shape, or form. Some of us have had some good experiences. Some of us have had bad experiences. Some of us have been kicked out of hotel room conference rooms by Star Trek LARPers.
They're crazy.
Yes, and some of us have had horrible experiences in paintball caves. So.
Yeah, I think we all three had horrible experiences in the paintball cave.
Yes. I think our buddy Anthony got hit in the throat. That was amusing. And a guy threatened you.
Threatened to kill me with poison, which was funny because he was standing like a half a foot from me. At the time, I was working out daily and could bench press twice my weight. And the guy was threatening me within arm's length. Yeah, that was very stupid of him. I seem to recall saying, you realize with your threatening to kill me right now, you're within arm's length, I could have just snapped your neck before you could even react. And he just kind of looked at me kind of strange and said, my arrows are qualified for Kanar. They're tested. I've tested them on myself. And you remember what the testing requirements for an arrow was, right? For Kanar? I don't know if you guys do.
Yeah, I do.
Well,
yeah.
We do, but the listeners don't.
Yeah. The testing requirements for arrows for Kanar, the way I was taught for testing, was you had to be able to take an arrow shot to the groin at 10 feet and have it not hurt you. Okay, an arrow shot, it's a boffer arrow. It's got a giant tip on it that's basically a giant pillow cushion type thing on it, larger than an eye socket, so you can't hit someone in the eye with it. And you had to take it to the groin and not have it hurt. If it hurt, then the arrow didn't pass and you had to replace it. Yeah, all my arrows passed that. And I was the one they got tested on. And I got them tested on me with a bow that was not Kanar legal. It was 35 pounds. The max you could do for Kanar was 25. So they were safe at 35. They're safe at 25. But yeah. But I digress. Now, for the most part, what really makes a LARP is the people that you're actually LARPing with. The people you're LARPing with, they're great people, and there's not a lot of, I don't know how to put it, political stuff going on in the background, then I'm sure most LARPs will be fine. The problem is that I've encountered... What was that, Jeremy?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, it's the wonderful world of Skype.
Yeah. The problem that I find is that it's very hard a lot of times, and I find myself doing it too. And when we did live action roleplay, it was very hard to have people keep the game conflicts and external conflicts separate.
Yeah.
And if you don't like someone in real life, in the normal world, and you're going to be playing a game with a live action role playing game for them, no matter how much you want to be like, well, and the real world, I hate this guy's guts, I wish he would die. It's very, very hard to go in the game. We're the bestest of buddies ever.
Yeah.
The brain does not work that way. I mean, that's being duplicitous to the level that you're even lying to yourself. Right. And I can't do that. So
the issue I had with LARPing in general was here I am. I'm supposed to be playing this character, for example, that is a good swordsman. Well, guess what? I'm not a good swordsman. So if we get into a fight, I'm screwed. I think it just sort of takes away from the escapism of the whole thing. And it's definitely for a bit more active people, I think, depending on the type of LARP you go to, obviously.
Yeah, because some people use the rock, paper, scissors, or things like that.
That's true, because really the only LARPs I've been to have been boffer LARPs.
Yeah. But I don't have any problems with those. I don't have any problems with the paper, rock, scissor ones either. Actually, I can't remember the name of the system, but there was one where they actually used marbles, kind of like how Asylum does.
Oh, yeah?
To resolve issues.
That doesn't surprise me. I think one of the guys that helped Aaron work on that was with Mind's Eye Theater.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Well, what?
Mind's Eye Theater is a LARP. It's a company that's put out some LARPing products.
Yeah. What different games have you guys done live action role playing with?
Well, I've done just D&D.
Just D&D.
Well, to an extent, it was the generic fantasy. I did Kanar and
You
I
did.
What was that other one? Nero. That was it.
Nero, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, Nero done well.
Yeah.
And is much more organized because they are a set group.
They've also got a very thick set rule book.
Yeah, their rules are very.
They have a rule book though.
Yeah.
Well, there was a rule book.
There was a rule book
changing. Yeah. There was a rule book for Kanar, but none of the players actually got a copy of it.
Uh-huh.
That's a smart move, let me tell you.
And some of the rules were changed mid-game.
Yeah, but that was done because it was found that mid-game that they didn't work and people got hurt.
The one thing
aside from one rule, and I'm not going to talk about that because I don't really want to talk about the bad stuff.
Well, the one thing Ethan brought up how Anthony got hit in the neck.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is, if the people would have been willing to settle down or apologize afterwards, it would have been fine because, and especially in that type of LARP when you are using foam weapons, you're going to get hurt once in a while. Yeah. I mean, I've been hit in the groin, I've been hit in the face, things like that, and most people don't mean to do so.
No, and if they follow the rules, they immediately stop combat and verify that you're okay. But the problem was by that point, the rules were starting to break down, and people were following them.
In that particular, it was just the people on one. It became very two-sided, and we had strange people we didn't know.
Yeah, people who only come for that specific event.
Yeah, they came for that event, and really they came to hurt people.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm not the most active person, but I did like the elements of the sword fighting, as well as I know Andrew really liked it. But
Andrew's even done just Dagger here.
Yeah. And
I've done Dagger here, too.
Some people really like it.
Crooked nose to prove it.
Well, I was going to bring up, though, what do you guys think of the SCA? Do you consider that potentially LARPing?
No, that's deadly.
Well, no, that aside.
I've never even been clear on what the SCA is.
Society for Creative Anachronisms, I think is what it stands for. It's a role-playing style environment. They have, it's cats and stuff. Yeah. It's just their weapons are much more dangerous than ours.
Yeah, but they have a lot of safety rules. I mean, I know a couple of individuals who are in it, and they are very safe. Their weapons are safe. And
they also wear a lot of armor.
Well, they wear a lot of armor, but something that they do that other... And actually, we may get some hate mail saying that the SBA is even potentially a LARP because some people don't necessarily... I would not necessarily say agree with that. But anyway, the one thing that most LARPs don't do is they train.
Right.
And they're not... I mean, that training really helps.
Yeah, you also have to remember that the SCA is classified as a standing army if they actually assemble. They are classified as like a standing army by the government if they assemble in one place. Nice. They are trained to fight.
Well,
and they're very good at it too.
How about things like the Living Dungeon at the con?
You mean the thing where I got killed in like 30 seconds?
Well, not everybody.
Walked in the first room. It's like, and there's a trap. Well, I'm not a rogue. You die. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I guess I'll go sit out. Then there was that.
That's one that is a bad situation that occurred. But
as I understand it, with the Living Dungeon stuff, is that they have really tweaked that quite a bit. And often, if you do die, they actually still have more stuff for you to do. After you die, that sort of thing, and it's not a boffer thing. And actually, I think it's token based or something like that.
Yep. There's no boffer weapon.
No.
No, there is not. It's actually a token-based system. They have multiple tokens in a bag. You pull one out. They have a symbol on it, and based on the symbol, is done how things happen, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But I never actually got into a fight. I got killed in the first room.
Oh, there you go.
I got killed by a trap in the first room. I was like, but I'm not a rogue. How am I supposed to dodge the trap? And I thought it was like the same layout for everybody, but I was like, well, that was a waste of my tickets for Gen Con.
Yeah, and those were not cheap tickets for
No,
Dungeon.
they were like, what were they, $5 a piece? I wanted to do that thing where they had like the arena, the gladiator arena.
Yeah, the Gamer Olympics they had going on.
But I knew if I did, I would have hurt someone bad, because those guys did not know how to fight. Because it would have been like, equip me with a shield and the sword, the guy gets up as close as those guys were getting, it would have been a shield check to the chest, and then a trip to the legs, and then a beat to the ground, and I would have gotten in trouble. And someone would have gotten... So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. As much as I would love to go out there and beat on someone.
I wouldn't mind, like, a token or a marble or, one of those LARPs. My problem is, when you have that many people together, one, I'm not very social, and two, a lot of times I can't keep a straight face.
Yeah.
I never had to bother with that.
Yeah, and there are different levels of a LARP, really, as far as the social aspect of it. And Jeremy, I think, hit on something there with, when I did it, I'm not a very social person when it comes to people outside my little circle. So, I was like, oh, there's someone I know. I'll go talk to them for the whole night. And, I think,
and then there's me who can, walk into a room and I'll chat with everybody in the room.
Yeah, but not everyone's like that is the problem.
Yeah, it kind of scares people though. I've found, so I try to refrain from doing it too much. So. Yeah.
But we've all had some interesting experiences with LARPs, and there are different roles. Have either of you guys ever actually GM'd in a LARP before?
Not really. I tried to help with some rules at Canar, but that kind of fell through because, well, we were with the so-called bad crowd. But I no, actually.
Well, I wouldn't say that I actually GM'd. I ran an event out at Canar. And basically, the event was laid out for me, and then I went out and I moderated it with the monsters and stuff. But to say I've actually GM'd where I set up a story arc or anything like that, no, I've never done that.
Right.
Never really had the inclination to. I'd rather play.
Well, and with a lot of those, the problem you run into with that many people is it's difficult unless everybody is part of the main plot. It's almost impossible to have random encounters, or the individuals that like to do random stuff, or at least have a little bit of side fun, they really can't. So with a lot of it, even if you tried, like my problem is I could never find a GM. So basically it was a lot of sitting at camp because, well, you had certain people that ran the main stuff, and they would mostly ignore everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was the main camp that had most of the story arcs going with it, and we didn't hang out with that main camp. There was nothing wrong with the people there. I actually liked most of the people in the camp. It's just they weren't the camp that I was part of. Actually, as a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, I wasn't really part of any camp, which I think really bothered people because I wouldn't side with anybody.
Well, a lot of it was just too cliquey is the problem in that particular one. Now, at some of the bigger ones and the more organized ones, that may actually not be as big of a problem, or it could be even more of a problem.
Well, at Dagger here, it wasn't too big of a problem. I went with one of our mutual friends, and we went out to the event in Kentucky, and I didn't know anybody out there, and I was hanging out with everybody, and I got picked up, I got recruited, essentially, by the same group our friend was in, and I fought with them in, the battles, and it was nothing too bad about it. I kind of surprised people because everybody out there, this is the weird thing is you from the different games and stuff, I fight what's called, we always call it sword and board, sword and shield.
Right.
And I always use a round shield, which is a 24-inch round shield. So it's got a 2-foot, diameter. And that was never a big deal for me, but everybody out there was just shocked because here I am using the shield, and they're all using like tower shields, and they don't know how to use anything smaller than that. So they go to kick for my shield, and my shield is 1.5 feet higher than where they're expecting, and so they end up like kicking me in the shin and stuff like that. It was like, ow, quit it out.
Yeah, and that's the excuse they gave you. They were just kicking you to kick you.
That's the other thing we got to take into account is gear, because unlike a table and paper and pencil, where you can just write down some gear, in a LARP you
have to make it.
Pretty much have to have the gear.
Yeah.
And the people with more money have better, more comfortable gear.
Yeah.
Now, that's not necessarily always true. I guess in like a vampire LARP, Nerf weapons, maybe cheaper things like that. But with like Canar, you really wanted to have a whole costume, or you're trying to, get
live action fantasy stuff is going to be harder to pull off than a live action, modern day type of thing. Because modern day stuff, I mean, you're already stocked up on a lot of that stuff already.
Yeah, so. And the live action fantasy stuff is the gear for that can get ungodly expensive. I mean, if you just even look at armor, your blood pressure rises, because that stuff. Someone I knew had a full suit of leather armor. The vambraces, the greaves, everything, full suit. He probably spent more on that suit of leather armor than I've spent on building new computers in the past 4 years. I think he spent like $3,500. It was real pure leather.
$3,500 is on the low end.
Yeah.
I mean, you could spend tens of thousands of dollars on a suit of armor if you are so inclined. Same thing for a sword.
Scary. Yeah, it's scary. And the thing is if you want to be, people who really wanted to be in it, I mean, they went all out, and just, it's kind of one of those things you just look at and you go, what? Three grand on leather? Couldn't I just go kill a cow, skin it, cure the skin, and try to make my own for cheaper?
Not to even mention though how it's really two different groups of gamers out there. Is you have gamers, and then you have the gamers who look and go, oh look, LARPers, It's like, oh, those people are LARPing. They're really dorky.
And you just look at it and you go, what?
I think that's an interesting dichotomy there.
The people that are always like, oh god, LARPer gamers, they're so dorky. It's like, okay, let me introduce you to the LARP game that we play. Here, pick up that weapon. Now go out there and see how dorky they are when they beat you into the dirt.
Yes. I mean, and it was good exercise,
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed the fighting just for the exercise that it gave me. But
yeah.
I'm with Jeremy. It's just the clicks were just too bad. I just couldn't get over the whole high school feeling of the whole thing,
Yeah, I honestly, I would not mind putting together another Boffer weapon and a shield and just getting together as my friends and practicing. Yeah. Because, when we were sword fighting all the time, I mean, God, to think about it, I could do when I did my stretches, I could put my head to my knees, I could put my hand flat on the ground, I could stretch so well, and now I'm lucky if I can see my toes. So I would love to get back into that, but the thing is there's no one really around here that does it anymore. I mean,
there is. It's just it's no one that we're comfortable doing anything with,
Well, part of it's I don't know them well enough anymore to trust them in a situation where I could be hurt. That's the main problem. I mean, I would sword fight with you and Jeremy in a heartbeat. And Andrew, if Andrew came up with Bach weapons, it's on. We'd fight out in the front yard. I don't care. I'd fight as long as I could until I passed out, because it's fun. It's just the groups at Canar. I mean, Canar's still going. I think Nero's still going.
Oh yeah, Nero's national.
Yeah, but I think it's actually still going here.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Nero is more organized, though. I mean, the two comparisons are
it's contrast day and night.
Yeah,
diametrically opposed. The only problem I have with Nero is I've actually been practicing so long. You can get so close in Nero, but you can't get any closer. When people get that close to me, my first response is not to swing my sword at them. It's to check them in the chest with my shield, because they're too close.
Right.
And you can't do that. I mean, there's no shield bashing in Nero. It's like my shield is padded specifically for the process of pushing people away with it, and I can't do it. And that was one thing that really bothered me when I tried to do Nero. It's just, like, the main technique of fighting. You know, the shield is technically used as a second weapon, and it couldn't be done. But the swords they were using, the foam swords they were using, worried me because they brought out these new ones that were like foam molded, and they were very safe for slashing, but the tips were very, very small. They looked more like real swords, but the thing is the reason why the tips on all our weapons were so large was so you couldn't stab someone in the eye. It had to be larger than the eye socket, because we know accidents happen and someone's going to lose an eye if the tip's small enough to hit someone in the eye. And that's my only misgiving. I don't know if they used them, but that really worried me because they brought out these weapons, and yeah, they were great. I mean, they were light, they had like the right shape and stuff, but because they had the right shape, it made them dangerous. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think that's about all the experiences. I don't think any of us have not had a LARP outside of a fantasy game.
I have.
Have you?
I've done Call of Cthulhu at Gen Con.
How did that go?
I got eaten by a ghoul.
Well, yes, but you know what I mean. How did that go? You know, mechanics-wise, or
absolutely terrifying. I thought I was going to pee myself. The mechanics-wise, the mechanics system that used Cthulhu Lab 2.0.
Okay.
System is laid out in a book. There's actually a book you can buy for it. It worked really well. The people who did that game knew how to scare people. And I've also done Vampire, or I guess it's called World of Darkness LARP. I did that at Gen Con one year. It was not bad. It ended up being, I wasn't dating anybody at the time, or seeing anybody at the time. It was like the 1 year I went to Gen Con where I wasn't with anybody. And it seemed that the rumors I had heard about Vampire, LARPing games where it just turns into basically, a big fest of hitting on people and making out seemed to be what happened.
What was that, Jeremy?
It turned into an orgy.
Yes.
It didn't turn into an orgy. There was no sex, but it was a big makeout section.
There was obviously something wrong then. You were doing it wrong.
Well, it was an interesting. Yeah, people were actually playing it right, I think. It was interesting, but I'm not a really big vampire fan.
Yeah.
So of course I played a werewolf.
Of course. Well, werewolves are
awesome.
Werewolves are awesome as long as you're not in Twilight.
Trekkies.
I've never done a track one. You know what would be cool though, with all those costumes of like the 101st Brigade of Stormtroopers? What would be awesome is if there was a Star Wars live action.
Oh yes.
I mean, come on, every one of us has wanted to be Han Solo, at least, if not Luke Skywalker, at some point in time.
The problem with a live action Star Wars LARP is you'd have 30 people who are Han Solo.
Yeah, or act like Han Solo.
Yes, exactly. Because everyone wants to be Han Solo or Boba Fett.
Oh well, just let them all be Han Solo then.
And Boba Fett, let them kill each other off over that.
I mean, that would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
See who would be the best one?
That's true. But
and I think it would be awesome to see Jeremy with a lightsaber being a Jawa.
Well, I think that's a good amount of discussion on LARPing, unless you guys have anything to add.
No, the only thing I have to add is that honestly, it's one of those things that if I think gamers should really keep an open mind. And if someone invites them to a LARP, they shouldn't immediately assume oh no, LARPing's for losers.
Yeah.
They should check it out and see what they think. And then if they go, LARPing is for losers, then they're inclined to that opinion. But they should at least take a look at it first.
I think, again, the media sort of portrays it, as gaming in general is a bit of a stigma still, but I think LARPing is even bigger of a stigma. They still look at that, and it's just,
I just
wrong and messed up.
That's what's silly about it, because if you look at kids playing, a lot of times what they're doing is LARPing.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Totally.
Cowboys and Indians, cops and robbers,
all that stuff. I totally agree.
I remember playing Knights and Dragons. When I was a kid, someone was the big bad dragon, or a couple people were the big bad dragon, and then a couple people were knights going to rescue the damsel. I was like 6 years old. We used to hit each other with sticks. Got much safer as I got older.
I think that's normal. That's normal childhood. That's how children learn, and they They figure out their world and things like that.
Yeah, I agree. I can't think of anything else to say.
All right. Well, we will be back right after this. Gamers Haven and the Vorpal Network, in association with Pinnacle Entertainment Group, present A Thousand Monkeys production.
Deadlands. Enough room to die.
An actual play recording of Deadlands Reloaded. Available for download at www.canadiancrusaders.com.
This is the Vorpal Network. The Vorpal Network and the Gamers Haven proudly present A Thousand Monkeys production of a Monty Cook adventure. Tollus, the Night of Dissolution, an adventure for Dungeons & Dragons, 4th edition. Following the threads of a hidden conspiracy, 6 heroes find themselves up against insane cultists, wild chaos magic, and horrors from the primordial days of the world. Urban intrigue, dungeon exploration, and high action span the grand city of Tollus, the city by the spire. Join these heroes as they explore a former brothel, the laboratory of the dreaded Surgeon in Shadows, and even secret temples of chaos cults. Can these intrepid adventurers stave off the Night of Dissolution, a dark time long foretold when the slumbering lords of chaos will awaken in their hidden lairs deep below Tollus, and bring catastrophe to the world?
And we are back, and today on the wonderful three-parter, Nathan's going to talk about an old PC game. It is a PC game, isn't it?
The version I'm going to talk about that I played recently was the PC version, but I do have it on the Amiga as well.
They're called Dungeon Master 2, so for those of us who remember that. Jeremy's going to talk about a cool thing that both he and I got for Christmas, called the Versatool, and I've got a shameless plug. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with Nathan's review. The review.
Over the winter break, as well for at least Ethan, the rest of us aren't in school right at the moment. I actually broke out a game I managed to get a copy of on the PC. Actually, the funny thing was it was the PC version, and inside the box was the Amiga version in another box of Dungeon Master 2. The Legend of Skull Deep. I read a bunch of stuff on it. Everybody said it was like the best of the best for like first person like role playing games. And so I figured, what the heck? I'll try it. You know, I like Eye of the Beholder. I mean, if I like a game as bad as that, I mean, I'll have to like this game. And I started playing it. And the first thing I noticed was that it's from the age when there was actually manuals with the video games, and like not little manuals, but actually fairly hefty manuals that give you a rough rundown on how stuff works. And it also came with a reference card telling you what you needed for computers, and it's like the minimum requirements are an IBM PC compatible. The recommended requirements are 25 megahertz 386DX or better. 25 megahertz 386DX and 94. Wow, that's really powerful. Actually, the funny thing is that was fairly common back then. It's a CD-ROM version, no different from the disc version, as far as I can tell. There's no speech that I've encountered yet. I haven't actually run into anybody to talk to yet. I keep dying horribly. So in that respect, it's very much like Eye of the Beholder. The differences are the graphics are much nicer in this than the original Eye of the Beholder. Very, very pretty graphics. The problem is that you come out of the starting area and you're immediately beset upon by from all sides by slimes, which proceed to completely eliminate your party. So apparently I'm doing something wrong. One of the different things about Dungeon Master 2 versus the Eye of the Beholder series, or any of the first-person SSI games, TSR games, is that you actually don't make your characters. They're actually, when you walk around this area, and the people are stored in what looks like cryogenic tubes, and you find a character that fits the requirements that you want, and then you unfreeze them and add them to your party.
Nice.
Which I thought was kind of weird. I don't know if there's any sci-fi tinge to it. I haven't gotten very far. Like I said, I haven't even found anybody to talk to yet. I just keep getting killed. I did find a dwarf, but I killed him. I wonder if I was supposed to talk to him. Probably. Well, oh well. Well, it comes from a simple premise. Games from usually back then, it was, unless there was a cutscene or the screen changed to another screen where text was at, you were supposed to kill whatever was on the screen. And so that was my immediate response. It was like Lands of Lore. Oh, there's a guy on the screen. Kill him. Oh, he was a guard? Oops.
But have you played this before?
I had not played it before I started playing it. No, I installed it on my Amiga, and it wouldn't work on my A4000. It doesn't like my accelerator card. So I can't play the Amiga version, so I played the PC version. I loaded it up on my mighty 486 with 8 megs of memory, and proceeded to burden down the hard drive with 45 megs of installation. For a computer that only has a 500 meg hard drive, that's huge.
Yes, it is.
It runs very smooth. The graphics are very crisp and clear, especially for the time period. They're all sprite-based, no 3D. I know, I'm an ancient old fogey. The music is very nice. It's got a fully orchestrated soundtrack for Roland MT32. Sound effects are okay. It's got the typical bangs and thuds and whistles and booms and screams. Right. If you're using a sound card. I'm sure with PC speaker it would be beeps and boops, which is why I don't use that. But overall, I'd say it's a fairly decent game. I can see why it's received so much praise. Probably I would have a much better or a much easier time of playing it if I was 14, because I seem to have had a hell of a lot more patience for these sorts of things. I go back to play some of the adventure games that I used to play when I was a kid that I was such a whiz at, and now it's like, how the hell do I get through this puzzle? There's 50 inventory items and none of them work. Oh, I'm supposed to click on the tile on the floor. Oh, well, good thing I found that walkthrough. I would have never thought to look at that.
Yes.
It's the same mentality as that. I mean, back then I wouldn't have thought twice about it, but because there aren't anything that really pushes your mind for those illogical puzzles anymore, you're not really looking for it anymore. But I would say it's definitely worth finding. If you can find a cheap copy on eBay, pick it up. I got it from Gen Con. I was kind of shocked when I opened up and found the Amiga version inside with the PC version, because the Amiga version goes for a fair bit, if I remember correctly. So it's kind of hard to find. I think it's only found in Europe too. So, but I got it for $5 with the PC CD-ROM version. So if you find it, check it out. I mean, worst case scenario is you pop it in DOSBox and you go, wow, this sucks. I don't want to play this.
Yeah.
I don't think Ethan will like it. Ethan never liked the Eye of the Beholder series or any of the TSR first-person games, really.
No.
So I don't think it'd be anything you'd like. But Jeremy might find it interesting. And all you old retro gamers out there, I'm sure there's one or two listening to us somewhere. Definitely give it a try if you haven't already tried it already. Apparently, I'm one of a dying breed that has never actually played the game. So.
No, I've never played it.
Well, you're one of the few dying breed, but I'm no longer part of that breed because I've actually played it. Haha.
What we're into.
So, today, I'm reviewing a nice little tool that I got for Christmas. Also, Ethan got one, but I got mine first. So, It's from Walnut Hollow. It's called the Versatool. And basically, I got it because I wanted to have a wood burner. I wanted to start learning how to do some wood burning, and I was looking at this one, and I had another friend who told me that you can find ones with a hot knife also. And this particular one that I picked up has the hot knife attachment, as well as a soldering attachment, and it comes with all these little tips. Tips for various things. There's even a tip so you can do like wax seals if you wanted to. You can buy additional tips, which I got additional tips for Christmas, as well as lettering. So you can make nice, neat letters. It works fairly well. The one complaint I have about it is you have to wait until it completely cools down before you change any of the tips.
Yeah.
So anything you make is going to be kind of slow going. And I do recommend basically whatever you're going to do, either one, get some transfer paper and transfer a design, or draw whatever you're going to make first. It comes in a neat little case, so everything can be stored in it.
We gamers like neat little cases.
Right. There is also a number, in addition to the letters, you can get a number one, which I may pick up at some point. I haven't used the hot knife yet, but I've been told the hot knife is really good. I've used quite a few of the tips, except for the shading tips. They have tips that allow you to do cursive writing, tips that allow you to do different shading, different marks, things like that. For now, I've just been messing around with some practice wood just to see what I can make. I'll probably use it mostly for gaming, type tiles, things like that.
You can get like balsa wood that's just the right size for various templates or various things that you want to use. And the hot knife attachment, I was told, is great for using to get minis off of sprues.
Right.
Mod minis.
One thing I would caution you on, though, I picked up some wood which was supposed to be like for kids' crafts or Boy Scout crafts, things like that. And instead it could be used for wood burning. The problem is it seems to have some sort of glue in it.
Oh.
And that stuff really, it does give you a headache.
Is that the balsa wood that you got, or?
Yeah, it is.
That's too bad.
I may pick it up again, but I'll probably make sure I have more. I was doing that in my gaming room, and while I have
more ventilation,
ventilation, I probably need more. And that is one thing you have to be careful of wood. Depending on the wood, if it's like some sort of particle or something like that, it could have glues in it. So just be careful of that. Beyond that, there's lots of neat things you can do. We have our different signs that Scott made, obviously, and I see some cool stuff for the future. I'll probably make tiles mostly, hit traps and things like that. And someday I'm kind of hoping to test my hand at making a permanent wooden character sheet. So, just for my own amusement, basically. But
you can transfer Gavin Drake or
I might
Gavin Drake to a permanent character sheet. Hang him on the wall.
The only other tool I would say to probably pick up for this, actually two other tools, is a metal ruler and some sort of mat. They recommend the glass mat to do anything, but something that won't burn, obviously.
Yeah, I would recommend at least a glass mat. If the tip actually gets up to 950 degrees Fahrenheit, like it says, you need something that's not actually going to burn. And the only thing that's going to not burn at that temperature is probably going to be glass.
One thing that is a con, though, on this is the stand will not stay up by itself. They actually say the stand is flimsy. They actually indicate on the website that you need to tape the stand down, which is a good safety thing, but I was kind of like, well, you shouldn't have to. But beyond that, it's I may also get an extension for it because it's a little bit short on the cord. But beyond that, it seems like a nice little tool. I like it so far. And it's from Walnut Hollow.
Yeah,
it seems interesting.
And you can get it at various places, like at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or places like that.
It seems very interesting, and I like the fact that it has all the various different tips. One thing I do not believe it should be used for is soldering. 25 watts for soldering is very, very slow going.
Well,
and you have to remember
think you're meant to use it for soldering electronics or anything. It's probably more for jewelry or for craft making.
Yeah, it would be fine for miniatures.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even really recommend it heavily for things like that. You guys have to remember, the lower the wattage is on a tip used for soldering, the longer it has to be applied. The longer it has to be applied, the more heat that is dispersed to the item, which can cause problems. You'll melt parts of miniatures when you're trying to create a point. Although I will say though, it would be kind of cool to see this thing used for pure minis where you just touch the tip to the arm and then apply the arm to the split and then basically melt it on so that you don't have to glue, because you melt the 2 points together where it's actually with a liquid and it stays in place with because they have soldering material right there. You just use the lead-free solder, melt the 2 points together, and just stick the arm together and it looks fine. But I would not use it for a lot of heavy soldering. Soldering is usually the usual use for soldering is for electronics, and with the tip with only that much wattage, 25 watts, you're going to burn things. But like Jeremy said, like you guys said, for jewelry, yeah, if it's very, very small things.
Well, and
I like the idea as a whole.
I haven't tried the soldering yet, so we'll see what happens.
The whole thing with like the wood burning and the leather etching and stuff like that all sounds really, really cool. I mean, I wouldn't trust myself with a tool like that because I'd probably end up hurting myself. But, I mean, I can't solder. I want to learn to solder, but looking at the various different soldering stations I want to get, they're like $200, so that ain't happening. But yeah, I like the cool, wood burning, leather crafting sort of thing. If I had one of those, I'm sure my wife would use its great effectiveness more so than me.
The Shameless Plug. Well, what I'm talking about today in the three-parter is just a brief shameless plug, as I'm prone to do. I've talked about the podcast The Chronic Rift before. I've appeared on their match game episode, and I occasionally troll over there on their forums. But the Chronic Rift is available at chronicrift.com. It's a podcast out of New York City about all things sort of geek and media, really the television, movies, that sort of thing, and literature and all that. They have asked me to come on the show and talk and be part of their roundtable discussion to talk about the DC animated universe coming up soon. So keep your eyes open and watching chronicrift.com and check it out.
By authority of the mystic guardians of the universe, on the far distant planet Oa, Hal Jordan, test pilot, becomes the Green Lantern.
Whether it's someone who's faster than a speeding bullet, or someone who has the ability to summon and command all creatures of the deep, we have been drawn to the characters of the DC Universe for over 70 years now. Adding to that rich tapestry is the animated adventures of these DC comic book characters. Whether it's the Max Fleischer cartoons of the 40s, or the animation explosion that began with Batman in the late 80s and continues to this day with direct-to-DVD releases, the DC Universe has been a rich one to mine in terms of animation. Join Orenthal Hawkins and Jay Smith for this week's episode of The Chronic Rift, as they welcome guests, illustrator and actor Arnie Starr, and Gamers Haven podcast host Ethan Parker, in discussing the DC animated universe in our roundtable discussion. You can find this episode and more Rift goodness on iTunes, Zune, or by visiting us at chronicrift.mevio.com.
Random Encounters.
And we're back, and on today's Random Encounters, we've got a couple emails, plus we're going to talk about the upcoming, at least in the planning stages, of CantCon 2010. So, first email I've got, let me see, is from our good friend Sanjian Unkara, or Jason, as he likes to say. Says, "Greetings, Gamers Haven. I said that I would have comments and questions after I finished going through some of the episodes. However, I couldn't wait till I'd finished the listing to set this one out." Have I talked about this one yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I want to tell you guys the same thing I told the Pod Thralls when they had Becca on. You should have the ladies on more often. It was nice to get the female perspective on gaming as well as the help that you dole out in every episode. When I first heard Becca in the game, I wasn't sure if it was the same Becca or not until I heard that Nathan was her husband. Then I just thought it was kind of funny that there were two gamer girls named Becca on podcasts. It's okay, Becca's going to track this other one down and eat her skin or something, because there can be only one.
There can be only one. We'll take her head.
Yes, and with her power. Then he goes on to say, the other comment that I couldn't wait to jump on was about Alpha Omega. I've been looking at this one since I heard you had a copy on your shelf, and I was disappointed with the review. I credit it to Jeremy having not read through the book yet before he did the review. I did think it was kind of funny that he seemed to be surprised that we were still around in the setting, though. Did he think the capital of the West Coast would be rolled up so easily? I will endeavor to be properly constructive on this topic when I get my schnotes on my comments and questions together, hopefully in a week or so. I'll close now by saying Merry Christmas and best witches to all of you and yours.
Well, Jeremy wasn't really that heavily critical of that game.
Yeah,
I recall he liked it.
I did actually read it.
Yeah. I don't know. He might have been listening to an early one of us talking about it before your full review. I don't know.
Yeah, that may be possible. It. And I still would not run it.
Yeah, I mean, it is very cool. It's one of those cool games that would sit on my shelf, that is sitting on my shelf, that I was like, well, it's really cool, I'll never run that.
But yeah, don't let our opinions on the game. We like the game setting. The game setting is cool. It's just we're never going to have a chance to ever play it, and none of us want to run it because it's one of those things. We've already got how many different systems that we play.
Exactly. Yeah.
Picking up another one and learning how to run another one is going to be tough news. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I ran that pre-generated tripe for Earth Dawn is because.
Oh God, yeah, that was pretty bad.
I read through both books, and I was still confused on how to set up a game properly, so I was like, I'll just do the printed adventure. And, yeah, it was short, which I understand. It was free.
Yeah, it's a demo.
But the writing was, oh boy.
Yeah. Writing was every penny you paid for it, my friend. And
hell yes.
Anyway, we got another email from our good friend Andrew Wilson. Who said, well, I just finished listening to the first episode of the Keep on the Shadowfell Redux, Episode 1. Good stuff. I'm glad to see bullywugs instead of goblins. And I'm looking forward to any other twists. Even simple monster swaps make it a little more interesting in the nth time. And I will say I'm substituting bullywugs instead of kobolds, not goblins, but that's okay.
I hate those things. Well, it wasn't the bullywugs didn't bother me. It was those things that spit puke on us.
Yeah, those were bullywugs.
I hated those things. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Maybe we'll get a chance I'll actually do better next time. Maybe I can actually hit next time.
Yeah, well, the game is still going on this Saturday, so.
Yeah, I know.
As for my backlog, I pretty much don't have one anymore. All I have left to listen to is the most recent Deadlands episode, which is called Someone Dies, and the Call of Cthulhu game from CantCon. Does that have anything to do with the Immanuel Kant? No, it doesn't. I haven't gotten to that one yet because I can hardly hear anything going on, and it's kind of frustrating to try to listen to, but I'm sure I'll force myself to do it one day. Anyway, yeah, I'm almost done. So here are some things that I noticed, some things you may know about or may not care, but in case you do want to know, an after effect entry on a power, such as the Druid's Fairy Fire, takes place after the enemy in question has saved against the initial effect. So if it says save ends and then says after effect, the after effect happens once the enemy has made the saving throw. Well, thank you for clarifying that. Actually, I had completely forgotten about that. And then combat advantage works just fine for ranged combatants. If an enemy is granting combat advantage to attackers, then anyone who attacks that enemy, melee or range, gets the +2. Many times the source of combat advantage is from flanking, in which case the flanked enemy is only granting combat advantage to the characters flanking it. So that's pretty much a melee only without feats, which I think is what you were saying in the podcast. Yeah, I was talking about ranged people getting combat advantage, and yes, that's what I was going for. But like basically, if you run or something, you grant combat advantage to everybody. But if you're being flanked, you only grant it to the melee combatants. That's fine. Here are a few more things that might be house rules or specific on your campaign world. An action point can only be spent once per encounter, not once per round. That I really don't care about. Dragonborn or mammals and don't hatch. That's flavor. And druids use totems of implements, not holy symbols. Again, flavor, don't care. Obviously, you may or may not have intentionally changed any of those things above, and or probably don't care, but for whatever reason, I have the obsessive need to nitpick. Anyway, I still enjoy your podcasts. Also, I recently released a new product called Rugged Adventures, which is a DM-centric book guiding how to rework the rest system to support less of a dungeon-style experience, with encounters spread out over days or weeks instead of having to cram them all into one day in order to challenge the players. This hasn't really seemed to be an issue with any of the 4E games you guys have played, but if you're at all interested, check it out. It's at silent77.com, or you could, I'm sure, check it out on RPG Now. But I will try to put a link to that in the episode, but it's Rugged Adventures from Silent77, which is I'm pretty sure is available on RPG Now. I haven't actually had a chance to look at that yet, but I would like to check it out.
Wasn't his last product really, really good?
Well, the last thing he sent us was the 4E character class based on a huckster.
Yeah, the huckster book.
Yeah,
which was really cool.
I can't, for the life of me, remember now what he called it, but yeah, and that was pretty good. I think actually it was probably his best thing that I'd seen him do. So I mean, the guy's getting quite good.
It's like Huckstropy or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about Hextropy or something like that.
Yeah.
But thank you for the email on that. Keep on the Shadowfell Redux is going on. And I got another I got another email about the Keep on the Shadowfell Redux from Jacob Evans, who said, "Hey guys, letting you know you have a listener in the beautiful islands of Hawaii. I hate you. I hate you right now because we're staring out at like a mountain of snow. But anyway, and I have actually been listening to you guys for quite a while now, over a year. But that's beside the point. The main reasons I'm getting in contact with you is I'm not sure if you know, and I thought you might like to know about Wizards D&D Test Drive on their homepage, which is at just wizards.com/D&D. I know you guys don't need the quick start rules or the character creator, which is fairly useful, limited as it is to the first 3 levels, but mainly because the PDF version of the Keep on the Shadowfell is available for free, which if you already have in paper might seem like a waste. I know I did, but I found out that they completely rebalanced and redesigned the final encounter, maybe more. It's worth a look in any case. The second thing is your opinion on papercraft terrain. I don't know if you've seen it or care. If you don't, then this is fairly pointless to you, though still entertaining to browse through and look at. There's a company called WorldWorks Games, and it's worldworksgames.com. They're currently working on a new terrain system which shows a lot of promise. No dungeon currently, but they're working on it, and it looks to be almost complete. Anyways, those are my 2 cents. Just want to let you guys know about it and to tell you that I love the podcast, both standard and actual plays, though I still need to work my way through the non-D&D sessions. Keep up the good work and doing what you're doing. Your random listener from Hawaii, Jacob. P.S. Hope this isn't too redundant or insane.
Yeah, actually, we brought up the World Works. at one point.
Yes. And they look awesome, but it also looks like it would kill my printer.
Yeah.
But yes, they actually do have pretty cool stuff.
They are cool looking.
If we had a color laser printer, that would probably help.
That would help, but it is cool.
None of us are that well off right now.
So far, the Fat Dragon game stuff is just fine because it doesn't murder my printer.
And it's freaking awesome looking.
And as far as the Wizards D&D test drive, yes, I knew about that. And yes, I know you can get the Keep on the Shadowfell for free as a PDF off their website. You have to hunt around a bit for it. But it's like wizards.com/dnd/trydnd.aspx, I think is that's the link he gives. And I have grown to like the character creator quite a bit ever since they fixed most of it. But yeah, it is actually a nice little site with the quick start rules and whatnot. I'm always a fan of companies that do that. So there is that. We got an email from, another one from Sanjian Unkara. We just like saying that name, really. Said, greetings, Ethan. I was just wondering, has the group made mentions that your local game store has a secondhand bookshelf the next time you're in there? He wanted us to look for a copy of Liber Mechanica. I want just to say about this email is our game store does have a used store. They don't have a copy of it, but I looked. But Tabletop Game and Hobby does have used games, yes. I don't know if he sells them, will sell them over the interwebs or not, but there you go. Let's see. Had a gentleman named Mo. Hi, Mo. Notice that we have changed sponsors. I'm not here to ask why, but I'm wondering how I can purchase a PDF and support the Gamers Haven at the same time. We did. We actually are not being sponsored currently by RPG Now, but that may change again in the near future. Our current sponsor is, as of the recording of this, is Noble Knight Games. But if you are still looking to support, if you're buying PDF books from RPG Now, and you want to support the Gamers Haven, you can go to our website and go to the RPG Now site through our website and adding on our affiliate ID basic link that's on there. If you look in the URL, basically anything after the question mark affiliate ID, you want to get that question mark on to the end and tack it on to whatever you're buying at the end of the URL, whatever you're buying, and we'll get credit for it. So.
You do realize that we still have a link to RPG Now on our links page, right?
Sometimes if you go to the RPG Now website, like if you go there through our site and then you log in, it gets rid of all that stuff. So it's kind of weird.
It looks like our affiliate ID is 12206.
Yes, that is our affiliate ID. But if you add on the, if you look at our RPG Now link, anything, the question mark affiliate ID, that on to the end, it should also have an SRC Vorpal on there. That'll let them know that you came from us. And will, I think, help a lot. But there's that. Got an email from someone. Got an email from Abe, who said, procrastinating my schoolwork and I heard you guys talking about Munchkin Quest. I played it at Origins 2009 and made it to the finals, and I can vouch for its entertainment. It is Munchkin as it gets, but with random dungeon tiles. You can get to see your friends get eaten by platinum dragons, and the diplomacy or cutthroatiness in the game is extremely enjoyable. Happy gaming, Abe. As I understand it, Munchkin Quest is pretty much Hero Quest, but Munchkinized. So, and I've toyed around with the idea of picking up a copy, but I don't know if I desperately need another another board game right now. Of course, I need another board game right now.
I would love to have more space for board games. However, our closet is full of computer parts, and where there are not computer parts, there are board games. And I think the shelves are starting to strain under the weight.
Yes. And let's see. Got an email from Gary, the 8th Pagan. And he is answering our question as to what happened to the other 7 pagans. He says, to answer the question, I'm the 8th pagan because I just am. Okay, so that's kind of a cop-out, but, I'm sure there's more to it. You just can't go into it publicly. He has to agree with you guys on Legend of the Seeker. It's a very good series, and the fight scenes are excellent. Did you spot Ted Raimi in an early episode of Season 1? He shows up in pretty much anything that Sam Raimi does, but that's probably because they're
He's his
brothers.
brother. He's the map maker.
Oh, okay. Season 2 of the series gets to the UK in the near future, I believe.
And the series is much tighter. It follows the plot of the second book, apparently much closer than the first one. I'm reading the first book now. It's actually a fairly good book, aside from a couple things that really bother me, like the guy pulling the longsword off his back out of a back sheath.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it's described is it has at least a metal ring for the top, which means that his guy's arms need to be at least 48 inches long because the longsword is like 36 inches long. But aside from that, it's okay. I'm not too unhappy with the book. I just have some problems with some of the way the wording's done. He seems to, I don't know how to put it politely. He seems to disparage women. Like, they can't be strong and independent women. They have to all rely on men.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that makes sense. But aside from that, I'm having a good time reading the book, but it's, I like the series better because all the characters are really cool. And face it, the lady that plays Kaylin Omnell, Bridget Regan, is very, very beautiful.
I still haven't watched it yet, so.
Well, it's all on Netflix, on Instant Watch. So I highly recommend checking out the first episode. It's 45 minutes long.
All right. He goes on to say, Dragon Age Origins did not take us quite as long to complete as I expected. The first playthrough took only 52 hours. This was with a rogue, which I think is the hardest to complete the game with. Started on the Wizard and Warrior, but taking a break from that while I kill some Nazis. Now, he doesn't go in and clarify whether or not that's in a video game or not, so I'm just going to take it to think that he's actually killing Nazis.
Where is he killing Nazis?
Yeah, I know. Is this something that the States has? Because I know he lives in Great Britain, so...
I mean, is this a hobby we can pick up?
I know. Do they have centers you can go to and kill Nazis? Is it like, those enclosed safari lands? I don't know.
My guess was it might have something to do with like the recently released new Wolfenstein game, or it could possibly have to do with the fact that they just recently released Wolfenstein 3D on the iPhone and iPod Touch.
I don't know. I really think he's just out killing Nazis. He and I think that's why he disappears for long periods of time. He's a secret agent and he's fighting Nazis.
Everybody likes
service to us all.
Yeah. I mean, who really doesn't like killing Nazis? Really, come on. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I agree.
Now, back to Dragon Age, he's heard criticisms regarding the 360 version, but he's had no issues with it. He tends to buy games on the console now that he got sick of PC versions that were shipped unfinished or had hardware compatibility problems. Well, yeah, that's
when you have 20 million possible configurations for a product, there's going to be hardware compatibility issues.
Yeah. And
but the difference,
I have the PC version. I like it. It looks beautiful. So,
You've seen your brother. Your brother has the 360 version, so you see the difference. I mean, there is graphics-wise, there is a massive difference.
My brother Eric came in while I was playing the game and is like, "Wow, that looks much nicer on this." I'm like, "Yep, yes, it does."
When you have 512 megs of memory for the whole system and half of it is assigned to the video card,
exactly.
And on the computer you can have 4 gigs of system memory, easy, and another gigabyte of memory for your video card, there's going to be a difference in the texture quality. It's just the way it goes. But...
And last but not least, I got an email from Rob, who says, just wanted to say that I've listened to about every D&D campaign you all have ran, and I really enjoy all of them, and think you all do a great job. Now, I'm sure he's talking about the tallest ones and the Keep on the Shadowfell, and not the Sellswords of Punjar, the meat grinder. So.
Or the Wizard's School.
Well, that's true. Well, that was a good one. So, I mean, I'm sure you'd listen to that, too. Anyway, was also wondering if...
But not the Northern Kingdoms at all?
No, I mean, the Thera ones, those suck. Totally.
Actually, I thought the Thera ones were pretty good.
Shut up, Nathan.
I see a druid catching on fire.
Again? Dang it. That happens so often now.
I mean, I may not be playing in them, but, that one, but still, I thought it was pretty fun while I was in it. It's just... real life has interceded.
He also wanted to know if any of our group was going to go to the D&D Experience 2010 in Fort Wayne. Keep up the good work, guys. Sadly, no. Many of us are planning on going to Gen Con, and on top of CantCon, we have no time for other conventions.
And if I actually manage to save my pennies and make it to AniWest this year, I'm not going to have time for much of anything.
Yeah, exactly. So, thank you for the email, Rob, but hopefully we answered those questions. That's it for all the emails we've got. Now, we wanted to talk a little bit about CantCon 2010. Well, we're planning a CantCon 2010 right now. Looks like it's going to be in July.
That reminds me. I called that place I was telling you about down the street that's off the frontage road right there off of I-35. The person I talked to in the department was like, we don't know if we can do daily rental. Can we call you back? I went, okay, and here's my number. Do you have any names for like the community centers around the areas? I was going to start calling them tomorrow, and if I get snowed in.
But what general ideas were you wanting for just as far as the various places to look for a location or
well, if we were rich, I'd actually go down to the Johnson County the Johnson County Convention Center.
Yeah, the Overland Park Convention Center.
Yeah, Overland Park Convention Center. The thing is we'd need like 3 rooms.
Yes.
So there would be no reason to look into doing that because I'm sure it would be ungodly expensive even for 3 rooms.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to look up the Yellow Pages and see what I can find.
Yeah, that's really the only thing I could tell you. But, CantCon 2010 is in the planning phases, and we'll be running in July this year. And really, if any of our listeners have an idea as far as where we should be checking, please
let us know.
But we're stumbling through this, and I'm delegating as best I can.
Because we don't want you having a mental breakdown.
Good Lord, no.
Trying to do everything this year.
But yes, CantCon 2010 is in the planning process. I talked to Eunice today about the logo, and sounds fairly promising on that front. So it should be, I think, a fun time. Will hopefully be had by all again. So we'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. I had a good time. Definitely planning on running at least 2 games. I think I'm going to run them both, like I said earlier, Call of Cthulhu, possibly a third one, Call of Cthulhu, because it depends on actually what I think I'll do is I'll send out a message asking for interest to make sure that because if there's going to be like 20 people saying, "Hey, we all want to play Call of Cthulhu,"
right.
It's going to be the whole. Well, okay, we'll need another GM as well, but maybe I can get 2 people running 2 games. And
it depends on the amount of space we have. If we have enough space, we can have more than 3 games running at a time.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see. Should be.
Yeah, I agree.
We're still in the preliminary planning phases, but it should be a lot of fun. So.
I hope so. I had a great time last year. I had fun GMing and I had fun playing. So I'm sure this year will only be better. But there's a lot of stuff to do.
Yes. But that's it for the Gamers Haven podcast, episode 58. Thank you for listening.
This concludes the broadcast from World Control.
You've been listening to the Gamers Haven podcast. This has been a Thousand Monkeys production. You can find us on the web at www.canadiancrusaders.com. You can email the show at thousandmonkeysproductions@gmail.com. Visit our website to find our episode archives, our actual play, our main feed, as well as promos, links, and a gallery. You'll also find our RPG Now Pick of the Week, our Amazon Pick of the Week, and you can even go through some of our snippet review episodes. We are also shameless, and if you wish to donate some money to the wonderful Gen Con Fund, or just give money to the show in general, there is also a donate button on our site. via PayPal. So visit our website at www.canadiancrusaders.com. The Gamers Haven is part of the Vorpal Network. The Gamers Haven podcast and Thousand Monkeys Productions and CantCon are copyright by Ethan Parker. Gamers Haven is released under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 3.0 United States license, some rights reserved. Some music for the show is provided by Joe Hero Band at joehero.com. Other music is used with permission under license.
Just like Bruce Campbell.